Users are flocking to new apps like Meta's Threads, but can advertisers get on board as well? Let's bring in Matt Voda, OptiMine CEO, to discuss. So Matt, good to see you here. So how can advertisers prepare to use Twitter's new rival app in Threads?
Well, I think that they want to evaluate what types of formats and engagement are possible in this new platform, and that's still an open question because brands are not able to advertise on Threads quite yet. The other question, and certainly a question that OptiMine gets from the brands we serve, is, should we be thinking about moving budget from Twitter to Threads eventually as these opportunities open up? And so we'll evaluate that with the brands and just look at the ROI potential once it's open for business.
And as we know, obviously, they're waiting for Threads to reach a certain user level before they start opening that up. It could be, 1 million users. I guess we're still waiting to see what that threshold will be. Is there anything that some of these advertisers are really considering when they're looking at some of these other apps? Is Twitter just not where they want to be anymore? And versus TikTok or any other places, what would make them pick Threads versus, say, one of the other competitors?
Yeah, what we've seen historically in some of the analytics work that we've done, in particular with Twitter, is that a brand in its paid and promoted activity can actually increase positive brand sentiment and decrease negative sentiment. And that kind of targeting and in the moment activity and investment can move the needle. And I think that brands will evaluate those types of levers within Threads. Can they be part of a conversation? Can they create conversations? Can they be in the moment and more instant with these types of investments? And they're going to evaluate that kind of brand building capability in that decision.
And I just was talking about cannibalization, talking about Instagram. If you're someone who's like, how can I present myself differently as an advertiser on Threads versus I would on Instagram? How do advertisers go about doing that?
Well, it's about content, it's about the message, it's about precise targeting and personalization. And the most sophisticated brands are investing both in terms of people, talent, and technology to deliver this type of content more precisely, whether that's through highly targeted ads aimed at specific kind of messages or interests, or even more precise content and messaging to certain groups of consumers that may have an interest in their product. So the savviest brands, and in particular the brands that we work with, are investing really intelligently with these skills and technology sets.
And for people who don't know, obviously you have to go through Instagram to get to Threads. Does that give a different dynamic versus, say, just going to a standalone platform or a standalone app?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and the story's still yet to be written. And this is certainly something that brands will take a look at is, does this represent a truly new group of users that the brand can reach? Or is it more of an overlap with an existing audience that they're already reaching through Instagram? And I think that's kind of the potential risk with Threads is that they're just leaking the same users away from Instagram and not attracting net new users that a brand might be interested in reaching. But it's an open question. It's to be seen. But that's certainly part of the evaluation a brand will look at is, if I'm reaching a truly incremental group of consumers in Twitter, and if I walk away from that and I'm already reaching the same set of users in Instagram, if I'm using Threads, then I might be inclined to continue to invest in Twitter because it represents a unique audience that I may not be able to reach elsewhere.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We'll definitely be taking a look at that when they do reach that threshold, when they open the door to advertisers. Matt Voda, thank you so much for joining me this morning. OptiMine CEO, thanks so much.